Hello and welcome to today's episode of Two Pigs in a Pod, a podcast for the people of Glazing by the people of Glazing. I'm your host George, and a warm welcome to today's guest is the one and only Lee Marriott. Welcome to Two Pigs in a Pod, Lee. How are you?
I'm good, mate. You okay?
Yeah, really good, thank you. Yeah, we were just chatting off air about all our summer plans, but yeah, good to get you officially on the podcast, and yeah, quite good timing to obviously to get you on, which you'll find out more about you and your career.
Thank you. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, well, as we always do with our first question is for guests to introduce themselves. And yeah, so who is Lee Marriott and how did you enter our wonderful world of glazing?
It's quite a protracted story, really. But I mean, yeah. So I'm Lee. I actually didn't, obviously, like most, didn't intend to get into the glazing sector, but I've actually got a degree in theatre and film design. So I specialised in set design, prosthetics, drawing. So yeah, that's pretty much where I thought I'd end up being. And then one thing or another, in terms of obviously after my degree, I found that obviously the dream of having a degree in a given sector didn't plan out how it wanted to be. So whilst I was doing my degree, funny enough, I was actually a salesperson working part-time, funding my degree through working for Currys.
Nice.
I was actually selling about £1 million worth of washing machines a year. So I was always in the top 5 salespeople for the UK working part-time for Currys. So I always knew I had like a skill towards sales and the ability to do that. So I thought, right, well, I can't do what I wanted to do and what I've spent thousands of pounds for in a degree. So I might as well just go back into sales. So that's where I started. So I started off at Glasex. No, that wasn't Glasex, actually. I started off at EMAP, which wasn't based in Croydon. I was actually working on PRW magazine, which is Plastics, Rubber and Weekly, which sounds a bit kinky, but it's not. It's about plastic injection moulding and all that sort of malarkey. And then I was pulled kicking and screaming onto a show called Glasex, which obviously most will remember back in the day. So that was pretty much where my career started in the sector, really. So out of nowhere, I was kind of thrust upon the glazing industry. So sorry, everyone, but not my fault.
Yeah, and you're here, and you've been here ever since.
Yeah.
So what was it like in the first instance that with the sales role at Currys? What did you like about the sales part of it? Obviously, you was good at it from the start, but what did you feel like? Why did you think you was good at it? Was you just a good talker? Good, good. Was it the skills that you'd just had naturally?
I think it was the ability to listen. More importantly, I think a lot of people oversee that as a skill set in our industry. But if you're listening and understanding what the person wants, then obviously it's quite easy to marry their needs. But what I was quite clever at was that when I was at Currys, most people were trying to sell glamorous hi-fi's, TV sets, all the fancy stuff. But I caught on quite quickly that obviously selling washing machines, well, no one goes into a shop and wants to buy a washing machine out of choice. Literally, their machines either gone pop or they've moved fast and they need a washing machine. So you was always guaranteed that. So it was quite a natural progression for that. And obviously understanding where the demand was in that shop. Washing machines are always going to be sold. White goods are always going to be sold. So it kind of probably aligned with it. And obviously then if you're selling a product that's in demand and you can align the needs up with the homeowner, you're going to get commission. And that's kind of, that kind of got me into sales, really, and got my love of juices going for sales. And actually got quite a good story about that, actually, because my first commission check, I actually purchased my guitar. So I was about 17. I hadn't played guitar or anything like that at all. So I was in Orpington. Currys at the time in Kent. Picked up my first wage slip. I think I finished earlier. Whatever, I can't remember what time it was. I literally jumped in the car, drove to the closest guitar shop in the high street, and just bought a guitar with the money. Never played guitar in my life. Never picked one up. Didn't have a clue about anything. Couldn't play a chord. But I just rocked into the shop, said I want to play a guitar, and rocked back out with the guitar on my shoulder, which is quite crazy. But the story gets even madder than that because whilst I was walking back to the car, I was stopped by a guy that looked homeless, a bit whiffy, a bit half drunk probably. And said, "Can I play your guitar?" And I was like, "Well, I can't play it, so if you can play it, crack on." So literally, give his keys on. I've never seen before a guitar. He started playing, and to this day, I've never seen anyone play a guitar better than them. And after when he gave the guitar back, I was like, "How have you learned to play like that?" He goes, "Well, I'm Jack Bruce from the Cream," and that's a good, solid story. So
Oh
Jack
my
Bruce
god!
played my first guitar. I didn't even know or recognised him.
Before you did.
Yeah, and that guitar is in my mum and dad's loft still to this day. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
mad. But that's all from
No.
my first commission check from Curry.
Uh,
So obviously that kind of thing, these sort of things kind of shaping of actually sales is probably the
yeah.
the career path you're going to follow, and that's kind of started the whole journey.
Yeah, nice. And obviously, like you say, your first role was in Glassx, so you're thrust into the world of exhibitions and the whole sector, I guess, rather than just a singular company. What was your first impressions of it? Of the sector in general.
It was mental, mate. I mean, I was probably what 21, 22, and then
Yeah,
I'm running around selling exhibition stands to business owners of small, medium, and even large
yeah, yeah,
companies. Um, and the stories and some of the things that I saw and the
yeah,
laughs you had on the way was crazy because again you're not really being involved in their business, but you're facilitating a need for their business.
yeah,
So you got to see loads of people within the sector understand loads of different products within the sector, and it was from Glassx that I got my real first role in this sector. So yeah, it kind of kicked on from there really.
yeah. Nice. And what were those sort of early days? Did you learn anything about yourself? Obviously, you'd done well previously in sales, but you're going into a completely different sector and doing exhibitions rather than in curries. What was the sort of the lessons you learned in those early stages?
In the early stages, I'd say the first thing you learn is obviously that relationships are king, and I think
Yeah,
this industry, relationships play a really fundamental part in any
yeah,
business in terms of going forward or moving forward. So, I think that working for Glassx at the time developed relationships with people that I probably would never have met had I got into the sector
yeah, yeah,
via a company route, if that makes sense. So it gave me a real good broad brush approach and in ability to get into the business or into the sector. So yeah, it was mad. But it was great times. And if and all those people that want someone to blame for that, it's Dave Broxton who pulled me into Glassx. So if you want someone to blame about me running around the industry, it's Dave Broxton's fault.
yeah. Send your thingies to his door for getting you in there.
Exactly.
So what happened from then? You obviously, like you said, you got your first role from Glassx, but what was the
Yes.
career progression like from there?
Also, during Glassx, one of my closest accounts and people I got friendly with was Dan Gill from Window Widgets.
Yeah,
Um, and people that know Dan, he's a very um, he's a great thinker, and he always thinking out the box. And obviously, he saw something in me that others didn't.
yeah,
And then I met up with him, made the decision to join Widgets,
nice.
and I was there for 8 years, and that involved obviously the helping and designing and launching of the Residence 9 system as well. So I'd seen
Yeah,
over those 8 years, I'd seen a hell of a lot with that,
yeah,
and I probably have to contribute quite a lot of where I am now because of Dan. Because again, he saw something in me that others didn't and took that punt, but also in becoming part of Widgets was all about, and I'm about designing products and working out what problems are in the markets and finding
yeah,
solutions to problems that people are having. I got to see the design backgrounds of products in our sector that are quite niche. And then that's kind of that was the start. And then after that, I think it was Promac. I think I went to, and then I got into machines and started designing. I designed a machine. I spent a week
yeah.
in Italy designing a machine with the Italians down at FOM.
No.
That was kind of interesting. And then I went from there to Anglo-European. Paul Sullivan
Yeah,
had just purchased aluminium shapes at the time, so he had an extrusion plant, aluminium extrusion plant in Lee. I like to come and work for me, and then I was a director there for 5 years. And that was that. Then I went to Compdor, and then
yeah,
M Plus, and then obviously I'm where I am now. So yeah,
yeah. Nice.
it's the good thing is like Glassx. I've never been in one sector. I've kind of dotted around the industry.
Yeah, so you've pretty much done it all, really, haven't you? Within our sector, like there's not many companies or companies that you work with that have dealing with everything with part of our industry. I think people probably don't understand, the normal homeowner or person outside our industry don't understand how much different moving parts you have in our industry. So yeah, to get that knowledge is quite good to go around and actually build up your own knowledge completely of our sector rather than just be a specialist in one specific part.
Yeah, and I think I made a conscious decision to do that because it never sat right with me. You get salespeople that will go from one fabricator A to fabricator B,
Yeah,
and they're kind of saying, "Well, this product's the best one day," and the next day they're saying this product's the best, and
yeah,
it never sat right with me. So I've never actually gone and worked with a competitor really at all. That I've with a company I worked with before, and so it's I made a conscious decision for that. But also in doing
no,
that, it's broadened my horizons in the sector, so I know most
yeah,
facets, most areas, and most people to speak to. So it's again
yeah,
that's helped me in my relationships within the sector.
yeah. Yeah, definitely. And then you mentioned Dan there at the start at Widgets, but has there been any other sort of people that have influenced you over your career that have really helped you get to where you are now and be able to, as we'll move on to starting your own business?
I know I've got. I've already mentioned him, but Dave Broxton probably because
Yeah,
when he took me on at Glassx, I was literally was a diamond in the rough. I was a nightmare. So how he managed to manage me, I do not know. But again, he saw something and polished some of the edges. And I think as I've gone through each different company, each business owner that I've worked for has helped shape me in some way or form. But
yeah,
each time, obviously, polishing me a bit better in terms
yeah, yeah.
of where I am now. But obviously, not losing the Lee Marriott charm or craziness.
No, I don't think that'll ever go, will it?
I don't think so. No, some people have tried knocking it, but or trying to bashing it out of me, but it doesn't work, unfortunately.
And what role do you think? Yeah, and like you say, Eric, you've learned something from everything. But has there been a specific role or company that you've worked for? Maybe it was right at the start at Glasset that really shaped you as a person, really shined that diamond more than others. Would you say?
I wouldn't say anyone has shined the diamond the most. They've all had
Yeah,
their input in that, but I'd say the two at the start were probably the best in terms of Glass X, in terms of me understanding what it's needed to go out and sell to these owners of businesses that are obviously experts in their field, and then you've got a whippersnapper at 23-year-olds trying to say to them, "Come and buy my stand at whatever price it's going to be." You learn quite a lot there, and obviously Brocco shaped me quite a lot on this, and then obviously Widgets at the start in terms of designing products, understanding the problems that people have in manufacturing, and
yeah,
and that installation, and then finding solutions and designing products to solve those problems. I think they're the ones that have probably set me on the course where I am now.
nice. And you mentioned about earlier about the relationships that you built. We all know it's a massively relationship focused industry. How important has been that for you for your career, not just from obviously going to for different companies, but actually to be a success in this industry? Like I would say, you have been a success wherever you've been. Do you feel like the relationships that you've built over those years at PiGs, for example, or elsewhere at GlassX, Fit shows, they're the reason why one, you've stayed in this industry for so long, and two, being a success in our industry?
Yeah, I think networking in this industry is pretty much everything. I wouldn't be where I am now if it wasn't for
Yeah,
me being ever present at those events, because what's happened is it's shaped me in ways that you don't anticipate. And
yeah,
more importantly, it builds relationships, and these relationships are some of that last for a lifetime. And out
yeah,
of some of these events and at some of these exhibitions and shows and whatnot, and just having a pint with what might be a potential customer at the time, they end up being friends and friends of life. And I've
yeah.
got quite a few people that I'd say that are actually friends within the industry that
Nice.
even if the industry was to stop tomorrow, I'd still go and have a beer with them. If that makes sense. So
Yeah,
it's fantastic. And any major success in this sector generally comes from an early relationship that was formed at one of these
yeah,
events.
yeah. Yeah, it's exactly that. I think we're seeing it more and more with pigs, and obviously you've seen it at pigs, but how strong those relationships are. Like you said, they would go if the industry stopped tomorrow, you'd still go out for a beer with a few of them, and it's just
Yes.
it's. I'm not sure there's many sectors like that where obviously you're always going to get people that you're close with, but yeah, the amount of people that you don't mind passing them in the street. You think, oh no, I've got to talk you, and you don't even really have to talk about work. It's really just it's just a general friend, a genuine friendship rather than than a work relationship.
Yeah, I mean, it's exactly that. And sometimes when you do start talking about shop with these people, they tell you off anyway because you're
Yeah,
not there
yeah,
to talk. It's like, no, what are you talking about that for? We're having a beer, mate.
yeah.
Let's talk about football.
Uh,
Yeah, so it's
so
good.
what's been your proudest moment? It's been an amazing sort of career in right around around the industry. But has there been a moment or moments that you've really thought, yeah, that's pretty good?
I mean, if we dial back, I'd say one of the start. Sorry, let's go back again. At the start, when we done Residence 9, we was a small company, and
Yeah,
Dan Gill was a business owner that basically said, "Do you know what? I'm going to design a Windows system and go against the big Cisco's." Which, in it, if you look back now, is absolutely nuts. And with a relatively small team, what we
yeah,
achieved at R9 and what we launched and what we got into the market and how it's now steered and changed the way the market's perceived in PVC. I think that I'm really, really proud about that. I think
nice.
with a limited resource and what a small team we had to achieve that, I think it's been fantastic. And I'm pretty sure Dan Gill will probably be absolutely looking back at that and thinking, do you know what, how we managed to do that, I do not know, but
Yeah,
we done it, and it's still there now doing its thing, and it's a fantastic product. So I'm
yeah,
really, really proud about that. And then there's been moments where I've been proud about everything within the different sectors and different jobs that I've taken. So
yeah,
it's hard to list that, but if you would say the proudest one will probably be where I am now and creating my own business, because that's kind
yeah,
of everything that I've done for the last 22, 23 years, whatever it is I've been in the sector, has led to obviously me setting up Done Agency. So it's kind of,
yeah,
you look back and you think, actually, I've got here not through wanting to get here, but just through slowly building different blocks, different relationships, and it's got to where I got to. So, yeah, launching Done and it proving to be a success is something to be really proud of, because again, that's something that come out of my head that I've done for myself.
yeah. Nice. Yeah, I think you should rightly be proud. I think it's not easy to go it on your own. It's quite nice to have that sort of safety blanket of working for a company. But firstly, what is the Done agency? Does the Done bit stand for anything? I've been meaning to ask you for a while since you launched the business, whether it meant
Well,
anything or was just
yeah, so Done actually stands for the initials of my three daughters,
okay.
which is ultimately why I've actually ended up setting up this business in the first place. So I wanted to build
Yeah,
something for them, and
nice.
then for them to be proud of. But yeah, so Done is basically Daisy, Una, and Nora, hence
Nice.
Done. But then obviously the permutations that you can get from that marketing, get it done,
Yeah,
etc., etc.
yeah. It
It
works.
kind of worked. It worked. So then that was it. Really, it stuck.
Yeah, nice. So yeah, like you say, it was for your kids, to have a better life for them and something that you set up the agency. But firstly, what do you do as part of the Done agency, and was there any other reasons why you set it up? Did you feel like this was the right time? You'd built up enough, in your career of learning the industry to do it yourself, or did you see something that needs to be done, that can be done within our industry, that you saw something to do there?
I mean, in terms of what does Done do? Let's start there, shall we? Well, basically, Done is an agency that helps companies sell. Basically, so I'm out there being boots on the ground,
Yeah.
knocking on doors, opening doors, connecting people, solving problems that companies have within their sales and commercial structure.
Yeah,
But I'm doing it at a price point that enables smaller companies that want to have the ability to have boots on the ground and see whether the sales having a salesperson on board is actually will
yeah,
work for their business. It kind of
yeah,
it's multifaceted, but essentially what Done does is basically it just connects people. I'm opening doors for companies that have got decent sized names, but they're not reaching out to people that I know, and I'm opening doors,
yeah,
and it's
yeah,
it's just I'm basically facilitating that kind of middle person, kind of
yeah,
opening doors, helping them sell, helping them grow, and basically meeting what they want at a budget that most salespeople can't, because obviously everyone in the industry at the moment is having margins squeezed left, right, and centre,
yeah, yeah,
and I could see that. And employing salespeople is expensive. So over the last 5, 6 years, I've kind of had this niggle in the back of my head about about this because I was always getting phone calls from various people and friends and different people in the industry saying, Lee, what do you
Yeah.
do about this? Or could you help me with that? And all the time, I'm obviously employed by a company and I
Yeah.
can't do anything. I can kind of give them my opinion, but I couldn't do anything with it.
Yeah.
And it was Jen, my missus, said, look, Lee, you've got like 20 odd years of experience here. People are always phoning you about this, that, and the other. Surely there's something you can do to facilitate all of this.
That. Yeah.
And that's where done came about. Really, I thought, right,
No.
if I don't do it now, I'll never do it.
Yeah.
So, literally, obviously, handing my notice in with Empass, Kush and Ryan, and I love those guys to bits. They were like really understanding, kind of really
Yeah.
supportive, actually.
Got to know.
I'd done that, and then obviously incorporated my business on the 1st of April, which was probably not the best day to do start your business. But yeah, that was that, and the rest is history, really. But yeah, it's basically all I do is we've done is basically it's 22 years of knowledge of
Yeah.
connect, and with those relationships, I'm connecting people and helping their sales or pushing these products that don't justify a full-time salesperson or the
Yeah.
cost of having a full-time salesperson. But what I can do is still push those niche products and help that business in return.
Nice. And as the first few months been good, so that we know from things that have come out in the press that obviously the people that you're working with, it's been a success. But have you actually enjoyed it? Now you're actually doing it. Has it been a sort of new lease of life into what you're doing?
I mean, obviously, when you first give up a salaried job and you've got a
Yeah.
mortgage, 3 kids to feed, all 3 girls, you're like,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
Yeah. Pressure.
Yeah, and it was scary, but I'm guessing if it wasn't scary, you're not stretching yourself or pushing yourself to where you
Yeah.
need to be. But yeah, it's been fantastic, and it's one of those things
No.
where most business owners will probably say this, but I should have done it 2, 3, 4 years ago. But
Okay.
there's always a reason not to. There's always something
Cool. Yeah.
that happens. You think, oh, I'll do that, or you park it. But if you've got an idea and you truly believe in it, and my one was about 5, 6 years ago, it was starting, and obviously each year it's got stronger and stronger and stronger to the point where I thought, right, if I don't do it, it's going to eat me up, and I'll be thinking, what if I didn't do
Yeah.
it? So yeah, that's where we are.
Nice. Has there been any surprises apart from obviously starting on the 1st of April and learning about all those sort of things like tax and national insurance and all that jazz? But has there been any surprises starting your own business and having those conversations with companies?
I mean, the surprise is that I've always been at quite a high level in most businesses. So your brain's always thinking about the role you're
Yeah.
doing,
Yeah.
the job you're facilitating, but the brain space that running your own business takes up is quite immense. It's quite often you wake up at night going, "Oh, I should have done this," or
Yeah.
you have a random thought and start writing down by the side of your bed something that you should do or you want to do, or
Yeah.
to improve the service or improve the offering to your customers. So it's that's just standard, I'm guessing. But you get told that by business owners, but until you actually are a business owner, you don't fully compute it. But I
Yeah.
think the biggest surprise that I've had with this industry is that the amount of support, the amount of phone calls that I've had,
Nice.
they're never going to be customers, but
Yeah.
they've reached out, congratulated me, give you some words of wisdom. And I think that's a real good testimony to our industry and how supportive we are of one
Yeah.
another. And although we might be seeing competitors and whatnot, or people who are trying to grow their business against other businesses, I think there's an undercurrent in our sector that everyone wants everyone to be successful. And I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
I've seen that.
Yes, it's massively so. I think we spoke about it on this podcast with other episodes before. Where like you said, we're in a bit of a hard time with the industry and times are tough. But even then, you're still getting competitors willing to help each other out, give them a bit of advice. And I think that just sums up our industry like massively. That it's all well and good being able to say, yeah, do this when times are going good, but times are tough, and we're still still the conversations are still happening potentially between competitors, and it's for the benefit of the whole industry that we or as an industry get out of it.
And I think that's happened over the last. I've seen it improve year on year since I've been in
Yeah.
the sector. So, and that shows that obviously we're all working for the greater good, which is what
Yeah.
ultimately which we all want. If the
Yeah.
industry is successful, we're all successful, and ultimately that's what we want.
Yeah, definitely. And like you said, obviously you've seen the industry improve over time, but has there been anything else that you've seen drastically change from those early days in Glass X to where you are now in terms of whatever you think that's really changed in a
the,
sense.
the industry's become a lot more professional. I definitely
Yeah,
say that, but it's done that without losing its character. If that makes
nice.
sense. So we've still got the characters in the industry.
Yeah,
It has become, and I think they're fundamental in terms of making the industry what it is today. And you've still got characters doing their thing,
yeah,
and it's fantastic. I think the other thing that's really massively improved in our industry is obviously technology, data.
yeah,
We're in a current we're currently in a cycle, or not a cycle, a current time, where we've never had so much data, never had so much
yeah,
technology at our feet, and I think what we're seeing now is a lot of companies embrace that,
yeah.
to improve their business, and I think the next 2, 3, 4 years are going to be really exciting.
Nice. And speaking of the future, what does the future look like for you? Is it just about building up, putting those sort of small steps in to build up the done business and get it going properly and obviously speak to as many people as you can? Is there anything else on the horizon?
I mean, I think for me, it's a case of just obviously improving done, building
Yeah.
done. I kind of want to be the person that if a company has a problem, they can pick up the phone and say, Lee, how would you
Nice.
do this? Or what would you?
Yeah.
Oh, and that's both on the fabricator, installer, or different parts of
Yeah.
the industry. Or if they've got a problem, they come to me and say, Lee, who would you source for this? And I can point them in the right direction. Or if I'm representing them, sell them. But I
Yeah.
kind of want to be that
Nice.
kind of person that solves problems for people in the sector. And then obviously with that, I've got to obviously use and utilize AI as much as possible. And I think that's a
Yeah.
big thing that people need to not grasp, but need to understand. And if you
Yeah.
don't start dabbling with it now, you're going to be left behind because it's moving on at a race of knots.
Yeah. Yeah. It's exactly that. I think I've had conversations about it, and people say that we're noticing how quick it's moving AI, which means it's probably moving even quicker than that. Like the
Yeah,
other things that have come in previously, we sort of see it coming, and we're like, oh, we'll sort of kick the can down the road a little bit. If I'll deal with that in a couple of years, but yeah, it's moving very quickly, and I think you're right to mention it and to adapt to it and use it because it's I think it will help a lot of businesses
yeah.
right across our sector.
I think one of the issues of AI is people misunderstand it. They see
Yeah,
it as taking people's jobs. No, what
yep,
it doesn't do that. What it does do is it makes people that have got a decent skill set in a given field, it just improves it, amplifies it. And if you use AI
yeah,
correctly, everyone's life can become a lot easier without
yeah,
losing any job. But everything becomes smoother, less stressful,
yeah,
more competitive. It has so many upsides if
yeah,
used correctly, but you have to embrace it now.
yeah, definitely. And moving back to kind of end the main part of the podcast, if you weren't in glazing, what do you think you'd be doing now, 20 odd years down the line? Do you think you'd be that professional guitar player in a band, or
I don't think I'll ever get to the point of being a professional guitar player, if I'm honest. But I was all right. I was not too bad. But in terms of where I'll be, I'll probably be some poor artist painting or sculpting for a living,
yeah,
doing something like that. But yeah, it's just the nature of the beast. So I think it would still be drawing, and it'd be an art-based solution or art-based kind of job.
no,
But again, it's something creative, and I think what I'm doing now with Done is a creative because I'm creating something that's not been
yeah,
seen in our sector, or
yeah.
especially in this country where you've got an agent that represents multiple brands, pushing those out to different companies.
Yeah, nice. And if you was giving a bit of advice to someone just starting out in our industry, what would you do? Obviously, you've had a successful career yourself, but is there one piece that you'd like to give that person that's just starting off and to help them along their way to
Just,
where you
just,
are?
just embrace it, listen, and create those relationships. Because if you're young and you're starting into this sector, you're on a really good path. Because I'm 44 now. I'm still deemed as young in this sector. So anyone
Yeah,
who's 25, 26, 27 coming into this industry, embrace it.
yeah,
Go to every network event you can.
yep,
Understand the ups and the downs and the little niches in our sector. But if you embrace it and take it on board, you've got a really successful career ahead of you.
nice. And similarly to yourself, if you was to spot young Lee Marriott that's just starting out in our industry at Glass X, what advice would you give him, and what would you say that keep going, keep it's worked out well, so yeah, crack on and keep going.
Yeah, I probably could say exactly that, but also believe in yourself because again, whenever each time I've done a different role, I've done it, but then thought, well, what if? But
Yeah.
that what if, well, no matter what you do, that what if is always there. So just crack on and just back yourself, which is why obviously Dune's been created. I'm backing myself
Nice.
now.
Nice. Well, thanks so much, Lee. The main part of the podcast is done, so we're going to move on to our this or that round now. So it's just
Okay,
ask you a quick question if you've seen previous episode. Yeah, quick question, and it's just this or that, and the first thing that comes to your head.
go on, let's go for it.
So, first thing is, I think I probably know this one, but do you prefer being in the office or out on the road?
Out on the road all day long.
Yeah. Early starter or late finisher?
It depends. I can get up early,
Yeah.
but I tend to be more of a night out. I'd rather be working until 11, 12 for 1 o'clock, which is quite
Yeah,
often
yeah.
now.
Do you prefer phone calls or emails?
Phone calls,
Nice. Routine or variety?
variety.
Yeah. Risk taker or risk manager?
I'm probably in the middle. I'm in the middle. I'm in the
Nice.
middle. I'm becoming more of a risk taker, but I'm in the middle.
Yeah, nice. Trying something new or perfecting what you know?
Ooh, probably try something new.
Yeah. Staying in or going out?
Going out,
uh, would you say you're a glass half full person or a glass half empty?
glass half full.
Yeah,
Definitely half full.
yeah. And I know there's the answer to. Actually, I might not know actually. But do you
Go
prefer
on.
live sport or live music?
Ooh,
If you had to choose one, that I know you like both. So yeah, when I said
I
that, I
don't
was
know.
actually like you probably like both. So what would you preference if you had to choose one forever?
Probably live music.
Nice.
As long as I can still get to the Arsenal on highlights, I'm fine. But live
Yeah.
music.
Yeah, nice. Well, thanks so much, Lee. For the last part of our podcast, we like to get guests to give a shout out. It can be people in the industry, out the industry, friends or family, and whoever you want. So, who your shout out or shout outs for?
I mean, my shout outs. Oh, that's a bit of a tough one, isn't it? Trying to think. I'd probably go with obviously my daughters because they've
Yeah,
inspired me and to get well, inspired the company name. They've inspired me to do what I'm doing now. And then there's the people like I don't know Ian at Blinds and Glass, for example. He
nice.
was pushing when I spoken to him about obviously Dunn. He was the one that was really pushing me for it, and he's actually a
Amazing, yeah,
partner I've done now. And
yeah,
it's people like that that supported you. There's too many. There's too many, mate. If I'm
yeah.
honest, but it's there's loads of people that I need to thank, and all I can say is look, those who know.
Nice. Well, thanks very much, Lee, for joining us on Two Pigs in the Pod today. Yeah, it's been great to hear about your great career in our industry, and yeah, obviously all the best for Dunn Agency, and no doubt I'll see you at Pig soon.
Yes, see you soon, mate. Take care.
Cheers. Well, thanks for Lee for coming on the show, and thanks for everyone for listening. You can find this episode on all our others on our website www.peopleinglazing.co.uk, on our YouTube channel at People in Glazing Society, and also available to download on Spotify, Amazon Music, and Apple Podcasts. And whilst you're there, please don't forget to like and subscribe to make sure you never miss an episode. So thanks again for tuning in, and see you for another episode soon.